Hello everyone. Happy Monday. It's a new week. A new week in the worlds of Warhammer. And we are back with more Armageddon. Yes. More orcs as well, which is fun. We're painting the Deathskulls Bigboss today. We've got highlights to do. I haven't fully decided what we're highlighting the skin with yet, but we're rapidly approaching that, so we'll have to make a decision on that very shortly. But how are we doing? Mark wants to thank you very much for being a member for 58 months. Good afternoon, Josh. Good afternoon to you too. How are you doing? Well, yeah, so this is where we've got to so far on our blue boy. There he is. So we've got to apply some Hoeth blue to the sharpest corners in all the blue, but here he is. That's where we are at so far. Pretty sure that's a big MESBG model, right? I mean, anything can be a big MESBG model if you want it to be. So there he is. So that's where we're up to. So we've got to highlight the blue, we've got to highlight the skin, and then we've got to highlight, well, relayer the white. We've got to do the metallics, and we've got to do some stuff to the teeth and the bottom lip, and pick out the eye and all that kind of thing. Pretty sure the elves I'm painting are going to look weird. Are they? I have only... For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'll know how much I've done so far. But I have actually finished one more orc. Here he is. The weird boy. He's all done. So, there you go. That's what we've managed to do. So the weird boy is all finished. And this is the last character. Well, the last character of the box. And then it's on to the units. So we've got the 5 Vanguard Veterans, the 10 Intercessors, the Land Speeder, 20 Boys, 10 Gretchen, and we've got the Daka Rig and the War Track to do. So we need to be starting at least one of those things today to be in with a chance of finishing this thing. Random question, but where would you suggest getting brushes for cheap as a uni student? The models alone have gutted my me budget for the next few months. That's a good question. Amazon will probably set you right. If you want to just find some cheap brushes to tide you over until your me budget is restored for the next few months. That being said, if you want to get the brushes that I've been using, there is an affiliate link down below. You do get a discount if you use my code Warhipster at checkout with the Ruby brushes. They are exceptional brushes and they're not that expensive, but I remember what it was like to be a uni student. I do remember not having very much money at all, so don't feel like you have to do that at all. Love the skin on your first orc video. I am excited for the Orc Boys tutorial. Yeah, we haven't got there yet. We've done, basically, for all 5 of our orcs, we've done a variant or a different version of skin. So you'll be able to figure out which recipe you like the most. And if you then do all 5 of them across a set of boys, you'll have a very slight variation in skin tone. None of them are too wildly different, but we have done 5 different recipes to achieve a skin, an orc skin. Which is why for this guy, I feel like what we need to do is rather than highlight him with green, we highlight him with yellow. But I don't know what that yellow is going to be. And I don't really want to make it into a mix, but we might have to. So that is the big question that's on my mind. Before we get to that, we need to finish off the blue. So I'm going to give Hoeth blue a good shake, and then we're going to start highlighting with that. Buh. Right. Here we go. Right. We need that. Pause that. Head over to here. Press that. Press record. And with that Elatok blue all applied, we are then going to take some thinned down Hoeth blue. I'm going to use this just to add some little spot highlights to the sharpest points in all the blue, including our skin tattoos and things like that. We did it! Yay! Another paint down. I feel like the next thing for me to work on from the box that I want to do is the Vanguard Veterans, but I feel like the next thing that would be exciting other than characters for the Space Marines is probably the Land Speeder. Boo, 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 boo. But do correct me if I'm wrong. All right. That's the blue all done. Now, annoyingly, I do think that the best colour to highlight the skin would be... do you plan on the big Rohan Ardacon with the new riders to include Eowyn and Merry? Maybe. I feel like I need 3 boxes of riders, but... I suspect, as and when, and if, Games Workshop chooses to send me them, they'll probably only send me 1. But really it's a case of Eowyn, of the plastic characters that remain, Eowyn, Freylaf, Olwyn and Leaf are the last plastic characters to do. So we'll have to see. Does the Ancient in the box have the words Armageddon modelled into it? It does indeed. Ruby available in the USA? No, not currently. They're only available in the UK, I think, at the moment. After I've worked these ruby brushes into the ground, I'm going to be testing out the Squidmar ones. Because they've been very kind, they've sent them to me, and I've got them, they're here. I just, for consistency's sake, I don't like to change the tool halfway through a project, so once this is done, we'll be testing out the Squidmar ones. So if they're good, that might also be a worthy thing to look at. Okay, what yellow do we think we want to highlight this orc with? I'm inclined towards Dawn Yellow, but Avalanche Sunset is calling to me, and I don't know why. I don't think it's yellow enough though. Uriel Yellow's a little too warm. Maybe it is just Dawn Yellow. Should we just... let's just try it. Andy, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Just wanted to say thanks for all of your videos, Josh. I've been trying to pay you back for all the wonderful tutorials you've put out for Leviathan Tyranids. I've learned so much and you are an amazing teacher. Oh, that's incredibly kind of you. Thank you very much, Andy. And Ricky Drinks Paid, thank you very much for being a member for 37 months. Right, let's have a look at what does Dawn Yellow look like. It usually works, Dawn Yellow, but it's just a case of, is it going to match with the colour profile that we've got so far for our orcs? Hello, Dr. Steve. Let's test it. Let's go for it. Filming. And so with that all done, we are now going to highlight the rest of the orc skin with some thinned down Dawn Yellow. I can only apologise, I'm very sniffy today. Hay fever is... the hay fever must be extremely heavy today. I've been taking antihistamines every day for the last sort of 2 weeks. So I think they are currently fighting for their lives to stop me from feeling completely awful, but... good old Dawn Yellow, you can't go wrong with it, really. Legendary stuff. So let's do a quick poll. Ladies and gentlemen, who here has ordered a copy of Armageddon? And are you excited for Armageddon? Yeah, looks good. You've ordered one name is long enough to be annoying? That was my fault, wasn't it? I convinced you. Passively, without trying. I did not. Wanted to, but box just isn't calling to me. That is more than fair enough. That is more than fair enough. I always think about these whenever. So when a little bit of story time now for you, Jack. For those of you who don't know, there was a little time in my life where I ran a Games Workshop store. I was a single manager in one of the small stores in a place called Banbury. Is where I managed a store. And the time that I managed the store was during the launch of Dark Imperium. So it was extremely exciting. An exciting time to be at the forefront, one might say. And so the reason I tell you this is out of context is because I think more so than then, right now, contextually, this box is really exciting based on anything else that's coming down the pipeline for me. So I think of like the Tyranids from Leviathan. They had a really good box, I think, because they had the Screamer Killer, they had the Psychophage, they had the Neuro Tyrant, 20 Gaunts, the Barb Gaunts, Von Ryan's Leapers, Winged Tyranid Prime. I thought it was a really strong half for the Tyranids. I didn't think it was particularly strong for the Space Marines, but I thought it was a pretty strong half for the Tyranids. Because there was a lot of variation in that box. A lot of really cool stuff that came out for them. And then later, there was the Lictor, the Neuro Lictor, Nord Emissary, Death Leaper, Hormogaunts, Gene Stealers, Biovore / Pyrovore. There's a lot of really cool stuff that came out afterwards for the Tyranids as well, which I think gives you like a really good whack of like brand new stuff to be at the forefront of things. And a lot of it is kind of redos of older stuff, sure, for sure. But it's a really good raft of miniatures to come out. I'm interested to see what is going to happen to the Space Marines. I'm also interested to see what's going to happen to the Orcs, because I feel like, you know, there's things like Orcs on Bikes. There's I think the War Truck could do with an update, to be honest. But there's like Mega Knobs, there's Knobs, Storm Boys, all that kind of stuff. There's lots of stuff that could potentially come out for Orcs, as well as some potential new things like the Dakar rig that might be hiding there somewhere. And also maybe like a big new named Orc character. That would be really cool, because they usually do at least one big named character will come out. Usually. It's like Death Leaper, for example. For the Tyranids, they got their big name character. Or like the Necrons got Zarek the Silent King, for example. So that's the question: is what's coming down the pipeline for the Orcs? So that's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm interested to see. Some jerk put out content that looks super cool, so I brought it. That's fair. I can only apologise. But hey, at least the content's already happening, so you don't have to bribe for it, you know? Is that not Wazdaka? Wazdaka came out before the edition. There's really nowheres nowhere for Marines to go, in my opinion. Oh, fake street spirit. How little you know. There's a lot of stuff they could do with Marines. You know? They could stop doing new versions of old stuff. There's lots of stuff they could do, and there's lots of stuff I think they should do. The thing I've often campaigned on, I will continue to canvass for votes for, and the thing I've often said that I desperately really want them to do is a dedicated Gravis melee unit with big old siege hammers. Just absolute units with big old siege hammers. There you go. There's one. Naturally, there's the jet bikes option to go along with old Subadan Khan. That's another one. That's another one that they could do. I would like them to do, quite frankly, I would like them to do a multi-part. I know it's not brand new, but I would like them to do a multi-part ballistas dreadnought that has other options for the guns. So you can make an old reference to like a Hellfire dreadnought with 2 las cannons, or something like that. That's another option. Then there's things like librarians with jump packs. Yeah. Then there's like the veteran versions of other things. We've never had Gravis veterans before. Same as we've never had Phobos veterans. That would be another thing that we could do. Because you've got Sternguard Vanguard veterans, but what about Safeguard? Do you see what I mean? Or, you know, just like something like that. Bribes can happen. Eastings and Eisen ain't gonna fund themselves. There's the bribes. Thank you so much. I think all of that would be really nice. But I could be wrong. But thank you very much. Name is long enough to be annoying. For the legendary bribe / super chat. That's my goat right there. Right, what's next? What should we do on this? We should really do the Evil Sun Scarlet. And then bit of Flayed One Flesh for the bottom lip. And then a bit of Screaming Skull for the teeth, which is what we have done consistently in every single video. It's been the same thing, because it usually is with the orcs. It's just the degrees to which they have a bottom lip is generally dictates how much you need to do. So Evil Sun, Scarlet, Flayed One Flesh, and Screaming Skull, and that knocks out all of that. Then we've got Korax White that we need to do. We need some black highlights, so let's go for... Well, again, consistency's sake, we'll go with Dawnstone and Administratum Grey. And then we just need Silver and Fulgurite Copper to finish. Yeah, really quite quick. Really quite quick. Which is really nice. He's come together really nicely, I think. I think it's cool. Name is long enough to be a knight. With $200 super chat now. He's doubling his bribe. Bless you, hate the idea of Easterlings enough. Got a bribe to fund the MESBG train forward from Ardacon. That's true. That's true. We'll have to. If Ardacon's really fun, we'll have to do the Road to Ardacon Part 2, Electric Boogaloo Part 1. Because we've got to do it again, but there'll be a year's thing to go, rather than just be like, oh, let's just add a couple of extra bits. Bribes are in the MESBG kits, God. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited. I think we are going to do... Once Armageddon is done, I think we are going to jump into some MESBG. We'll go completely the other way. Completely the other way. From some of the most popular content of the year to some of the least popular, but the most rewarding for me to paint, because I love painting MESBG miniatures. I would try and compete with Namers long enough to be annoyed to get Josh to paint nothing but Leviathan, Nids, or Raven Guard, but pretty sure I would be homeless. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat, Andy. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. All support is greatly appreciated. I really, really love it. Thank you so much. That will be Rohan. It might not be. Who knows? Did GW send you the Hill Trolls of Angmar when they came out? I would love a video of those sometime. They did not send me the Hill Trolls, no. They did not. You're talking about Birder and all that kind of thing. I think that's how you say it. Okay. Let's get this Evil Sunz Scarlet on the go. Let's get another layer on, shall we? We'll use that one. Right. Filming. Get out of here, you two. Alright. So with that, the skin is now finished, but we're not done with his face. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a teensy tiny little bit of Evil Sunz Scarlet and we're going to apply this over the top of his eye. Done it. Great. Need a teeny little bit more in the corner. Boom. Good stuff. I completely forgot to mention it whilst we were doing it, but I'm just going to add a couple of little Evil Sunz Scarlet highlights to the helmet there as well. That's done now. Alright, Screaming Skull and Flayed One Flesh next. Well, not at the same time, but... Brother, stop it! Getting some Hill Trolls is not a bribe for them, only funding for more MESBG backlog. Okay. Okay. I do need to do a paint run, so that's fine. Hey, Warhipster, just wanted to thank you for your videos because they have helped me get back into the hobby after not painting anything for 30 years. It's such a relaxing and fun hobby to do with the kids, despite being pretty expensive. That is certainly true. So I can only say thank you, and also thank you very much. Since they are also Space Marines, Grey Knight's range refresh when? Well, that's the question, isn't it? It's the... I mentioned this in the... I mentioned this in the previous... what was it? In the Sprue review. That it was one of those things where it's like... It is at this time now where the design of miniatures from Games Workshop is such that they could create a truly breathtaking Grey Knight's range. So that would be... It's like now is the time. Like you kind of, it's one of those things where it's like the longer you wait, the more impressive the miniatures can be when it comes eventually, which is kind of what you want for something when it's Grey Knights, where you could have a lot of really cool potential stuff. Versus if they'd done it like with, I mean, look, they're already redoing the Intercessors now. So if they'd done it back in 8th edition, it would be like, these Grey Knights need redoing. In the same way like they did that with Stormcast, basically. Martin Spoon, thank you very much for being a member for 25 months, 2 years, and a bit of contrast joy. That's very kind of you. Joy indeed. That's what we're after. Joy, joy. 3 years. What's contrast? Only the Tau. What's contrast? I don't know. No one knows. It's just a thing, you know. Not going to super chat just to get noticed. Fair enough. I do get to things. There you go. That's one of the main reasons I didn't get the Armageddon box. I really want to save the money for the Grey Knights refresh. So excited for that. But there you go. That's it. You know, who knows? It's the same thing, I think, like, for something like the like various sort of parts of Dark Eldar. Like, not all of it. Like, some of it, it's like, it's not quite there yet. But, like, Dark Eldar is one of those things where it's like, once that refresh happens, it should be pretty good based on the types of models that they produce now. Like, same for Dire Avengers and all that kind of thing, but from Eldari, but we shall have to wait and see. We'll see what happens in the future. Right. Flayed One Flesh. I missed a little bit of that one. Yes. It's one of the main... Yeah, we already did that one. Grey Knights, the amount of gribbly bits would make me cry. Well, that's it, is like... There's part of me is always like, the thing with model refreshes is... If they want to refresh them to make them highly detailed, great. But also, there is a degree of sometimes the refresh should be done to make something easier to use. I think, like, so with, like, if you compare, like, the, if you compare an intercessor to a tactical marine, for example, the size is very, very, the size is what makes them a lot easier to paint. Right. And with that eye all painted in, we actually did apply some Evil Sun Scarlet to the helmet as well down here. But what we're going to do next, we're just going to take a teensy tiny little bit of Flayed One Flesh, and we're just going to use this to highlight that bottom lip. Whoopa. But thank you very much for the 37 months of membership there, Captain Mannerings. You're a legend. From the point of view of a painter who has no orcs and a few marines, Armageddon is a good buy. Do you want to paint orcs? And do you want some more marines? Then yes. Oh wait, hang on, we're on the wrong thing. There we go. Did I do that properly? Yes, we did. If you have like 60 intercessors already, I would say it's probably not. Speaking of which, would love to see some more Drakari videos, especially the fleshy ones, Rack/Kronos. Thanks for the videos, by the way. They are very useful. You're very welcome. thank you very much for enjoying the videos. We'll maybe get them done. It's one of those things, though, where it's like... They're not new, and they are prime candidates for being redone. So it's like, I really don't enjoy going, here's how to paint X, and then a new version of it comes out 3 months later and I'm doing it again. I really do wonder what releases will start to look like once everything has been refreshed. That's the big question. That is the big question. How do you pick a paint for highlighting? Experience? It's the right color, you know. That's one of the broadest questions. It's very difficult to answer that one, I'm afraid. It's just I look at the picture and I look at the color and I go, all right, it's that one then. Basically. I would like a new Hellbrute model. The current one is a bit small and a bit too static. I think that's the right word. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. A new Hellbrute would be good. I started with Assault on Blackreach, so this box has a bit of nostalgia for me. Nice. Planning to put some color shift onto a black MESBG Eagle. That sounds enticing and seductive. Legion of the Damned tutorial when? Whenever they do a Legion of the Damned miniature. That's why MESBG is safe. Nothing's getting refreshed. Well, some things have been refreshed. Looking at you, Rohan and Wild Men Abundant. Choose one that's lighter than the base. Yeah, that's also valid. Valid answering of that question. Is it more challenging to paint the Forge World resin models than normal plastic kits? Been wanting to give a shot at one of the Horus Heresy Primarchs. Yes, but only in the sense that it's more challenging to build them. And then as a consequence, there's a lot more refined, narrow detail that is inconsistent. With plastic, everything is much more accurate with plastic these days, right? So there's no like the trim of a shoulder, for example. All of the rivets are the same circle, right? In Forge World resin, they're not all the same circle. A lot of them are very similar, but they're not all the same. One might be slightly bigger, one might have a slight edge to it, all this kind of thing. Stuff similarly for like trim and things like that. The details are a lot more slender, and therefore it's a lot more highly detailed in that regard to a plastic model. So you get kind of a higher resolution. But it's kind of like these days, it's the difference between, if you think of a plastic model being 4K, a resin model, like a Forge World model, like the Primarchs, are about like a 6K resolution, but they're not necessarily fully consistent. They've got that more hand-sculpted feel to them. But the prep is the thing that kills them, really. But they are just much more. They are more detailed. So they take longer. I don't know if they're necessarily more difficult, but they are more of a time investment, I would say, is the best way to Bought the box to expand my Marines and start an Orc army. Nice. We're done with you. You're out. You're next. Bit of a technical question for contrast paint. Is there a way to lighten up paint that came out too dark, or I have to strip and repaint it? I'm still learning. Go over it with a lighter base coat. Is the way to do that. You don't need to strip and redo it at all. No. If you're painting something Blood Angels red and it's a bit too dark, get some Mephiston red, thin it down a little bit more than you would normally, sort of 3 or 4 parts water to 1 part Mephiston red, and then apply that over the top and it'll brighten it up. That's what that step, in the videos where I do the corrective steps, that's what that step is for. It's like the base, the whole point of that is the base isn't perfect, so it needs to be dealt with by doing that sort of glazy step. What is the next Orc video, Warhipster? I have no idea. What should the next Orc video be? What would you like to see? And with that all done, we're then going to take something down Screaming Skull. I'm going to use this to highlight, well, all of our bone details, but also pick out the teeth. Yeah. Like the Administratum over the cloaks for 3 hunters. Mechanica standard. But yes. Painting some teeth on an orc. Lovely stuff. Oh, there's a little tooth right there. And then we need to highlight these horns. This is always the slightly dicey bit. Slightly dicey bit. Ooh. That'll do it. One down. One more to go. Do. Let's get this on there. Boo. Nearly there. Pow. All right. Oh. Name is long enough to be annoying, with 100 gifted wives and memberships, one right after the other, meeting the goal. Really want MESBG to be fair. He does really, really want MESBG to be fair. At least I have finished my huge war model from Darksiders. Congratulations, Tattoo Zoologist, well done. Holy shit, that's a few new members. That is just a couple. That is 100 of the finest. Is it clear I want more MESBG yet? These bribes are disruptive to chat. I think it's clear. It's very clear. Got him. Yeah, you got me. You got me. You got him. Boom, headshot. Got him. Alright, well, there we go. We're done for the week. There we go. Yeah, lovely. It's been almost about they have 2 sprues of 2 world terrain left to paint, then I can get into the miniatures. Terrain is tedious. It is. I was literally just looking up to update my, where are we at on the, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm so confused. 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, yeah, no, we're accurate. I am his MESBG brother, not his sugar daddy. No, he's not my sugar daddy. But he really likes MESBG content. And so we make MESBG content. Because he pays for it. And we tried to do it promptly as well. It just... life gets in the way. I don't play Easterlings, but a Warhipster video on the Dragon Emperor would be cool. Well, it just so happens that we have a Dragon Emperor. Let's do something really complicated and something I don't like doing live on camera, but we're going to do it anyway. So with that all done, it's a little bit early in the video, but what we're going to do next is we're going to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to do 2 things. Firstly, we're going to use this to relayer the tabard down here. So just applying this over the top of the flat areas of that cloth to make it nice and bright. However, because we've got it open and we've got it thinned down, it makes sense now to do the checkerboarding that we want to do on his silver shoulder. So we're just going to apply this like so. And then, just a moment, up here on the shoulder. What we're going to do is take a small amount of this Corax white on our brush, and then we're going to draw a couple of tram lines. So we're going to start sort of round about 2/3 of the way up, sort of there. Like that. Then we're going to go next to it and do another one. Like that sort of thing. Then what we do is turn the model to the side. Then we're going to do lines going across it. Like that. And then to finish off the checkerboard, what we do is block in alternate squares. I need to pull up my pictorial reference, but I think what we're doing yeah, like that. Nice. Luke Piewalker with a £10 super chat. Thank you very much. Just wanted to say thank you for the Votan, Caradron, Overlord, Tyranids, and the Bone Reaper videos. Been a huge influence for getting me back into the hobby. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for the £10 super chat. That's very kind of you. Simply, I'll pay enough to earn her. This video is brought to you by a weird loner in the United States who changes his name constantly. I mean, I can put that in the next every SPG video if you want. Dry so quickly. Let's thin a little bit more down. Hello, Mr. Watkin. Nearly there. Cool. Anyone going to download this year? Do you know, I've never been to Download Festival. I went to Reading and Leeds. A few years in a row. But I never went to Download. It was always one of those ones where like the lineup was like, oh, this lineup's kick ass, but I don't know if it's 100% what I want to go and spend my time looking at. But even now, I don't think I would go back to Reading or Leeds. I do think someday I would like to do Glastonbury, maybe. I had an MESBG tournament yesterday. Ooh. Did you indeed? How'd it go? Was it the dwarves? Or the goblins? Or the fellowship? I must say, too, the WhatsApp group that is known as Battlefield Bromley it was truly lovely to see this morning you guys organising an AOS Games Day in the midst of all of this talk about 40k. I loved it. I was like, yes, that's my boys. Hello, strumming fish. Alright. So. Oh. Need to do the back of the tabard. I nearly forgot. That would have been really embarrassing. So many people would have pointed and laughed at me. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, there we go. It's looking pretty cool. That's where we're at. I went with Moria with the Cave Troll, with the Cave Drake, and Cave Troll. Managed to somehow win all 4 games and get first place. Somehow, with your Cave Drake. Are we all sad for no Dunland Command still? Only sad that it hasn't come out yet, but they did announce it. Yeah, they did announce it. Hill Tribes Chieftain, Hill Tribesman with Banner, and Hill Tribesman with Warhorn. That you can also build the Chieftain as an Oath Maker as well. Is anything actually interesting happening in the new version of 40k? Some stuff about the way it's played has changed, which is cool. It's one of those things where there isn't enough information that's been released yet to figure out how cool it is, I think. Would be my assessment of it. Right. What time are we on? 20 to 7. We can finish this guy. We can do it. Because we are flying through this one. I'm definitely more excited for new Riders of Rohan than new 40k. I understand that. I too am more excited for new Riders of Rohan than I am 40k. I'm also really interested in the last few bits of Age of Sigmar that are left to go. There's not that much left. They've announced Hedonites now. So I'm excited to see what like the last few, like Seraphon and stuff, they're yet to come. So with our white details now all done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thin down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight the black details. I don't think this is going to need a spot highlight, to be honest. Can't wait for Seraphon to get a dino spaceship. I'd be into that. A little bit left to go. I have to say I'm getting massive value out of these MESBG Eagles. Found out I can use them in Bushido too. Nice. I've got all the Eagles I could ever need, and I do want to do them as another potential list for Ardacon, because I think it'd be really simple just to take Guai here and 4 Eagles. I just need to find like a day or two to just sit aside to build them, because I don't anticipate them being that difficult a paint job either, which would be really, really cool. I also think it would make for quite a nice video to do Guai here, 2 Great Eagles and 2 Fledglings. But yeah, they are one of my contenders for things I would really like to take. Yeah, I've got them all. New terrain rules to control terrain features instead of skull circles on the map is more thematic. I just wonder how you play old maps with 2K terrain rules. Well, they brought out the new terrain maps as well, haven't they? What are the Eagles like to build, Captain Mannerings? How long do they take to build? That's something I'm interested in. Are they a pain in the arse? Because sometimes with MESBG models, it's like, yeah, that would be fun if they weren't such a pain in the ass to build. The eagles are nice to put together. Ooh. Is it like a weekend? I mean, aside from Guai here, because he's resin, so he has to have a bath first. 6 pieces. Oh no! What are you doing to me? It's like I want to find the time to do this bad boy, but it's so many components. It's all been washed. It's so many components that it's going to take a long time to put that together. Yeah. Because my Bolg needs a friend. That's a big old model. The Gundabad catapult troll is enormous. It's very, very big. Smaug is smaller. Smaug is smaller in the sense that he's actually less components, I think. But in the sense of size, no. Smaug is the size of a small house cat. Right. Here comes the exciting bit. Because we are a mere 3 steps from finishing this guy. What time are we on? 10 to 7. Yeah, we can do it. Let's just concentrate for 20 minutes. We can do it. We can do it, ladies and gentlemen. So with that all done, it's now time to highlight the metallics, and we're going to start with some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. Right. It's coming along. Did you highlight Yarek's chest eagle? Watched the vid 12 times and still can't remember. I would need to go and find him. If you give me a, like, let me do this, and I can go and have a look for you. I'm pretty sure I would have done. I'm just going to highlight all this silver. I did forget with the last two eagles to put magnets in their heads for Sylvaneth multi-use. Oh no! Sounds like a thing to send to Millie with hopes of built by Sam the Adonis man. Yeah, they're busy people now. They're gainfully... Well, Sam's always been gainfully employed, but Millie is very much gainfully employed now. Ugh. One thing that has been quite merciful about the orcs so far from Armageddon is that they aren't as metallic as some of the previous iterations of orcs that we've had to do. Like, so for example, the big mech, he had a lot of metallic stuff going on naturally. Now, granted, that's all going to change once we get to the war track and the Dakar rig, but as it stands right now, these guys have been pretty relaxed on that front, which is really cool. Because highlighting metallics for me is always the bit which slows things down. It's not the bit that I particularly enjoy. So when you get a model that's like really metallic, it's annoying. So much silver. Oh, I am grey. I'm grey too. At least I'm not feeling blue. So what you're saying is you want to paint Sauron and Isengard trolls. I have no idea what that's in relation to what I've said. You don't need me to paint Sauron. You're doing Sauron, aren't you? Or are you waiting for me to do it? Because I've got him. Thankfully, the last... We've got another metallic to apply, which is fulgurite copper, for those of you wondering at home. But it's only in a couple of places. So there's that, and then we just got to apply a little tiny bit of Blood Angel's Red over top of his eye lens as well. And for those wondering about how to do the basing, I actually shot last night a short video on how to do the basing using the Weird Knob. Or Weird Boy. So there will be a dedicated short to how to do the basing that I've done for my orcs. And no, it's not very difficult. And yes, it's been seen before, so there's nothing new going on there, but content is content. Josh gives up on metallics and goes full non-metallic metal. Well, that's even worse. Is the house move any closer? Sorry if I've missed any update. No. No, you haven't missed any updates, and no, it's not any closer. Not at the moment. I think there was an update today. Maybe. I think I saw an email about that. Right, what is... This model is delivering more and more silver as we go along. Boom, boom, bam, bam, bam. I'm like, I don't remember painting that bit silver, but here I am. Nearly there. One more leg to go. We chatted about it. Yes. Yes, that's right. I saw it, yeah. That's why I thought you'd done it. One heel left. And we are done with silver. Marvel arse. Tyrant Skull. Oh, Tyrant Skull is in there. It's always in there. I know it's probably far away with current release being Marines and Orcs. Any closer to doing Kairos? Or any tips I could follow, Law of Change, for most of it? Yeah, you could follow the Lord of Change. It is a very different colour. We're no closer to doing Kairos, unfortunately. Haven't had the time, as I'm sure you can tell. Eventually we'll do it. Him and Rotigus, because we want to finish the set, but time is my most precious resource. It's the one I frequently don't have enough of. Hence why it's the 8th of June. And this is like my 10th model from Armageddon. There's still 51 to go. I'm kind of tempted to do the Gretchen next, just to be able to be like, all right, that we've done another 10, you know. And with that silver all highlighted, we're then going to take some thinned down fulgurite copper. I'm going to use this to highlight all of our Castellax bronze areas. Boom. Your Salamander Ancient has made me want to strip all my Marines and paint green, Josh. Oh no, Reza. I mean, whatever you do, don't do that. But your new Marines could all be green, you know. Did you order an Armageddon box, Rez? Or did you skip at the box? I keep changing my mind about whether I'm going to do the Intercessors as Salamanders or whether I'm going to do the Eradicators as Salamanders. I'm probably still going to do the Eradicators as Salamanders, but I keep going back and forth on that. Because I have a very nascent little Salamanders collection. For those of you who don't know, on the channel, we have a video on how to paint the Salamander's Terminators, Salamander Chaplain in Terminator armor, and the Stern Guard, and we have Vulcan Histan as well. And soon we're going to have an Ancient. And it's one of those things where it's like, if I paint the... I mean, I'm probably still going to do the Intercessors as Crimson Fists, to be fair. But it all depends on kind of what the next... what the multi-part release looks like. As to how much more of that will go into Salamanders. I don't know how you do it, man. I appreciate all the work you put into this stuff because I batch paint 20 bee snaggers and I don't think I picked up a brush for months after. Well, this is my job. I have to do this even if I don't want to. This is my full-time job and it's because it's my job. I I dig deep down into my reserves of power to make my way through a box such as this. Right, we just need a little bit of Blood Angel's Red. Is that it? No, it's Flesh Terror's Red. Blood Angel's Red. And then I think it's probably time to tidy up my desk, because we've done 4 different Space Marine chapters on the characters and 5 different ways to paint orcs, and as a consequence of that, I've not tidied anything away. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. And so, to finish things off, we're going to take a little tiny bit of Blood Angel's Red. I'm going to apply this over the top of his 2 lenses on his eyes. Like that. Way, we did it. The big boss is done. Let me show you. This is the oh god, it looks so gross. So this is the situation. Which is why we do that. Oh, look at that. Lovely. So, for those who are just joining us and haven't seen, this is what we finished on Sunday and today. Saturday, Sunday and today. There we go. So this base now needs to be brought up to this level. We've got a video coming out on how to do that, but what I will do now is pop him off the base, off the handle, sorry, and we'll get the Armageddon dust on it, and then... Oh, it is a mangled Space Marine jump pack. That's cool. That's very cool. We might as well just do that now then. No. We'll put the Armageddon dust on. Where is it? Did I put it back here? No. Great question, Josh. Ah, there it is. Armageddon dust. I really love how that Crimson Fist captain came out. Well done. Oh, thank you very much. I was really pleased with it. And that's what I was saying earlier, that the question for me has been, what do I do to back him up? Is it the intercessors, or do I do the eradicators to go with him? And I am leaning towards it, probably just sticking to my guns and doing the intercessors as Crimson Fists. Um, I do have to say, Joshua, painted these orcs marvellously beautiful. Ah, thank you. It's encouraging because I don't know if you know this, but green is one of my weak points. Painting green is not something I'm very good at. My eyes struggle with it. So I suspect a lot of the... because we've done different... Like I said, we've done slightly different skin recipes and ways to get a nice green skin across all of our orcs so far. We're probably going to stop doing that once we get into the units and stuff. But... because, you know, I haven't got 20 more recipes. And so to my eye, they all look quite different, but I am pretty sure that they don't. But I was very pleased with how the war boss came out. I wasn't 100% certain that it would definitely work the way I did it. I was just like, here we go. Time to take a risk. But it did come out pretty well. I like it. I've had some nice feedback on that. So, I'm quite pleased. I want to paint the orcs with red skin. Ooh. I like it. I like it. Might I recommend that you do it like a reddish brown rather than like red. I actually think like Gore Grunter Fur would probably be a really good choice for that. Maybe like Gore Grunter Fur with like Reichland Flesh Shade as a shade over the top of it. Something like that. Trying to paint them like Uruks, Josh. No, I was reading Ola Bengtson's message. You guys can tell it's different. Because these are two different schemes. I suppose you can actually. You can see that those are different. Nice. And you particularly see it there on the back. Cool. I like this scheme. It's nice. Alright, well. That is the Beast Boss. Beast Boss? Big Boss done. Right, let's mark that off. So, what do we have left? We have the Land Speeder, the Vanguard Veterans, the 10 Intercessors, the 3 Eradicators. 10, 15, 16, 19. We have the Dakarig, 20. The War Track, 21. 10 Gretchen, 10 boys, 10 boys. So, 21, 30, 51. 51 models left to go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Boo de boo. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. $24, $25. 52, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yep, okay. I'm just counting my thing. I've miscounted here. This should say that. Cool. Does anyone else think they should have done the new Eradicators with something other than heavy bolters, e.g. las cannons or something? I think... but this is something I hope for. I hope that the Eradicators kit comes out and they've gone back to the drawing board on it, and it's not just multi-melters and heavy bolters, but that there's multi-melters, heavy bolters, and maybe a third option as like a multi-part kit. So they are kind of almost like a Devastator's replacement. It'd be great if it was like there's enough guns to do multiple different things for all of this, but I don't know how possible that will be. It's going to be strange, I think, if they go, here's Eradicators with multi-melters and here's Eradicators with heavy bolters as 2 separate kits. But I mean, it's also something I could definitely see happening. Or they just won't release it as a separate thing at all because it's on the same sprue as the Chaplain, I think it was. So we'll have to see. But I would like to see it. That'd be something I would like to see. Oh, well. Do I do the Land Speeder? Because I've got to do a Space Marine next because we've done 5 orcs now. So Weird Boy, Big Boss, War Boss, Pain Boy, Banner Knob. So we need to do Space Marines next. Do I do the Vanguard Veterans as Blood Angels, White Scars Land Speeder, Salamanders Eradicators, or Crimson Fist Intercessors next? I kind of want to just do the Vanguard Veterans. Kind of want to just get on with them. Because they are Blood Angels, so they'll be very easy for me to do. Bow, 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 bow. Boom, bow, 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 bow. suppose I could roll a dice later on to determine it. Desolators just look like they're overcompensating for something. 100%. The thing that I find funny about them is that they are... Desolators would make sense for that to be the name of the... It's a Desolation Squad, crewed by Desolation... crewed by Desolators. But no, it's a Desolation Squad that consists of 5 Desolation Marines, to give it its proper title, which is just weird to me. Boop, boo doo boo. Here's our land speeder. Pew. Yellow space donkeys next. Well, unfortunately, we're not doing any Imperial Fists. Anyway, I think that's a decision to make for another time. So, oh, I had a question about, I didn't answer it in the end. If you're still here, Simon. Let's have a look. Commissar Yarrick. Yes, the chest eagle is highlighted with Corax White. Hello, go for it painting. Vanguard Vets will be popular as it's the new kit, or Land Speeder maybe. Yeah, it's one of the two. Blood Angels are super quick to paint. I wrote a neat little Blood Angels list earlier today, which used all new models. I liked it. It seemed pretty neat and tidy. Just Sanguinary Guard, JPIs, Vanguard Veterans, and Inceptors. All jump packs all the time. Nothing is on the ground. It's pretty cool. I really want to know if the new land speeders are going to be able to be taken in units of 2, possibly 3. I think they should, because it would make sense to be able to take them in units of 2 and then have the storm speeders be just on their own. It would make sense because, like, a lot of those smaller vehicles, have been in recent times, like the Hippogriff, for example. That's a unit of 2. You can take those in. So, yeah, I'm interested to know if you will be able to do that. At the moment, the datasheet online says you can't, but we will find out when the codex comes out, because these datasheets, I believe, are just for the box as it currently stands. So, because the data sheets in the box currently say Orc boys can only be taken in units of 10. They cannot be taken in units of 20. Which is weird, right? But that's definitely not what it's going to be. When things manifest in the codex, right? Because otherwise, 60 boys isn't as cool as 120 boys, right? And everybody loves to have more boys, you know. Right. Well, greetings, mate. Can't wait for you to show the librarian how to paint. It is on the way. This week, what can you expect to see? In no particular order. We have the Weird Boy, we have the Pain Boy, we have the Banner Knob, we have the Big Boss as well. I mean, he's not finished because you've got to do his base, but the Big Boss. And then you also have the Librarian, the Chaplain, and the Ancient. So we've got 7 videos. Not sure on the order, but we'll generally go Orc, Space Marine, Orc, Space Marine. So tomorrow should be an Orc video. Not sure which one yet. Maybe we'll do the Weird Boy. Because he's one of the cooler models. And I'm really pleased with how it came out. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the week painting Space Marines and Orcs, basically. We're going to try this week to get the Dakar rig and the War Track as Evil Sons done. We're going to try and get the Vanguard Veterans, Eradicators, and the Land Speeder done, which will just leave Boys and Intercessors. And by then, you'll all be bored of my Armageddon content. So we will we shall have to wait and see what's happening. But there's loads and loads of time before the box comes out. For those of you in have it already, I don't know how. For those of you who pre-ordered, don't worry. As much content as possible will be ready before you get it into your hands. I'm trying my best. All right. Well, in that case, we are going to. I was wondering if Sinesh comes out, would you be willing to paint a bit more mortals? Time dependent. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. We'll have to wait and see. If they announce it for pre-order next weekend. No. If it's a couple of weeks from now, maybe. We'll have to see what's going on around it. But yes. Anyway, we will be back. We shall probably try and stream on Wednesday. What if you paint a Sky Lantern? We'll just down tools on Armageddon and do the Sky Lantern. That would certainly be a vibe. Chances of that are minimal to none. Because the last video that I was asked to do for Cathay consistently, the most commented request video, apart from the Sky Lantern, but this was actually commented more, was the Shugengan Lord on Great Spirit Longma. And that video is currently one of the worst performing videos of the year. So Sky Lantern instead of Armageddon is not looking like a great move for me. But who knows? I do. It's not happening. We'll have to wait and see when the next rack of the old world stuff is on the way. We'll have to, because we don't know. After this, we have no idea what's coming. The only thing that we know that's been announced, well, because we know the new Horus Heresy stuff as well. But the only thing that we know that has been announced that from Adepticon that is yet to make an appearance is the Riders of Rohan. So surely they're not far away, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the future. But yeah, I am going to tootle off now. And I will be hopefully back on Wednesday for another live stream. If not, Armageddon content all week. Daily content is basically where we're at now. So, yeah, see you in a bit, guys. Love you. Bye.